Hello everyone. In this occasion, I'd like to talk about bicultural bilinguals. It is just an introduction because we have like 5 minutes long presentation, and and let's get started. So, in my presentation, I'd like to give you the introduction. Would like to talk about definition of bilingualism and biculturalism first to recall your memory, and then I'm going to also show you who can be considered as bicultural bilinguals, and then we're going to explore in some discussion the benefit of being bicultural bilinguals and also challenges faced by bicultural bilinguals, and then you come to the conclusion. Okay, let's get started. First, let's start with some definition. In the previous lecture or classes, I'm sure that all of you are already familiar with the definition of bilinguals itself. But in this presentation, I'd like to uh, give the definition. Take the definition from Groschen, which also have conclude um, what bilinguals is. Goshen explains that bilinguals are those who use two or more languages in everyday lives. So this includes a wide range of people, from someone who maybe speaks their home language but struggle with the local language, to professionals who are fluent in multiple languages. So it is not always bilingual refers. It is not always refers to people who speaks two languages fluently or have high proficiency in two languages. But even though you are only able to speak and read in in one of languages fluently, and you only can communicate with two languages, you also use to consider as a bilingual. While bicultural, according to Christian as well, is characterized by at least three traits. First, firstly, they take part to varying degrees in the life of two or more cultures. And secondly, they adapt, at least in part, their attitudes, behavior, values, language, and etc. to the culture. And thirdly, they combine and blend aspects of the cultures involved. So, from the definition of bilingualism and biculturalism, we can identify that uh, someone can be considered as bilingual, that someone who speaks more than one language and engage with two or multicultural. For example, if you are immigrant adjusting to a new country while maintaining your heritage, or people in multilingual society who naturally switch between languages and cultural norms, or as an international student, for example, we are studying abroad and immerse ourselves in a new culture while keeping our own cultural identity. Those people can be considered as bicultural bilinguals. So next is, so what is the benefit of being cultural bilinguals? There are interesting research that conducted by Chen and Ernst. They conducted studies to show the main beneficial outcomes of being bicultural bilinguals by using gear model. Gear model is suggests that the beneficial outcomes. Um, anyway, gear model is like it is psychological growth, cognitive exploration, linguistic awareness, and social reinforcement. And from the findings, they find that the positive outcomes based on the studies. Now, from the psychological growth, it can strengthen self-esteem and bicultural identity. And from the cognitive exploration, it can enhancing creativity, problem-solving skill, and knowledge acquisition. And from the linguistic awareness, being bicultural bilinguals can demonstrate a deeper understanding of linguistic adaptability, and also from social reinforcement, with being bicultural bilinguals, we can more embrace racial diversity. However, It's not always easy. There's also some challenges that faced by bicultural bilinguals, right? And Purpuri has identified some challenges faced by bicultural bilinguals, such as uh, they find it's hard to find belonging in their cultures, and also the struggle for acceptance in both cultures. And sometimes there are some individuals who may face stereotypes and discrimination. If you already read the research and studies from Anko that who is where are you from? It is very relatable. The Sudanese immigrant that in Australia has lost, sometimes confused and feel like lost their identity to begin with. So that's one example. So the conclusions that cultural balance refers to individuals engaging with multiple cultures as well as exposed to multiple languages. And being bicultural bilinguals also shows beneficial outcomes in psychological growth, cognitive, linguistic awareness, and social reinforcement. And last but not least, uh, despite showing positive outcomes, some challenges might happen, such as struggling with cultural identity, feeling isolated by different cultural groups, and facing stereotypes. Okay, that's pretty much of it. If we want to explore more about being bicultural bilinguals and what is it like, and some challenges and more, you can um, take into some references that I attach in my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention.